If you've been going to church for years and years, I could guess that you might at times get tired of going to church. If so, you'll enjoy these few minutes. So let me welcome you to Gray Hair Talking as we look at Wadding Up to Worship. Now, you've heard me say before that we love to travel, and my husband and I took our best tour ever in 2011. We took a wonderful train trip across Canada. It was in the month of January, so you can imagine how much snow we enjoyed seeing. We flew into Toronto, and we spent several nights on the train named the Canadian as we made our way west to Vancouver. Our tour director on that trip used a comical term that has stuck with me. We were a group of about 30, and no matter whether we were coming or going, we all seemed to wander off and stray like little chickens. And our tour director, to get our attention, would call out to us, "What up?" And we would gather around her to get more information and instructions about what would be happening next. We all chuckled when we heard that phrase, and the phrase "what up" became our password for the entire trip. And as I saw our fellow travelers stop whatever they were doing and make a beeline to our tour director, I thought how this phrase and our response to it was such a good visual for a Bible directive. In Hebrews 10:25, out of the Message, we find the scripture, quote, "Let's see how inventive we can be in encouraging love and helping out, not avoiding worship together as some do, but spurring each other on in love, especially as we see that big day approaching." I can tell you that I have gone to church many times a week for many years. In fact, since I was about the age of 10, I've never missed a service. And I can confess to you that being in my early 70s now, there are times when I wish I didn't have to go. I've even welcomed a few times when I was sick or felt bad and couldn't go. Now, fortunately for me, these times have been short-lived and temporary, and they were usually caused when I had taken my eyes off the cross. But regardless of my occasional lapses in motivation, I've always known the value of wadding up to worship God and to encourage fellow worshipers. Worship, you see, has a two-part focus. Number one, of course, is to glorify God, and then number two is to help one another. In Ecclesiastes 4, verses 9 through 12, again from the Message, we find a scripture that sums up the power of wadding up. These words tell us to, by yourself, you're unprotected. With a friend, you face the worst. And a three-stranded rope isn't easily snapped. We need each other, and we can look forward to every time we wad up to worship. Micah 6:8 says our full challenge in very simple words. Micah says, "What does the Lord require of you?" He requires that we act justly, love mercy, and walk humbly. You see, gathering with our faith family often and regularly is where we learn how to act justly and love mercy and walk humbly. This is Rachel Solomon reminding us that our wadding up to worship will glorify God as well as help others and help ourselves. I'm sending you blessings from Gray Hair Talking.